When Andy Dufresne left Shawshank, there was only one thing he really wanted to do. Sure, he could have stayed on the beach at Sewantaneo, but that's not Andy's style. Andy preferred to rejoice in the true wonderful style of the premier podcast known as In Madness.
Hey, yo, thank you, Morgan. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy In Madness, whatever the hell today is. It's your boys, Sean the Butcher and Ep.38 with a very special surprise episode, Christmas present of the premier podcast, In Madness Pod. How's it going?
Father Christmas, give us some money. Don't mess around with those silly toys.
What was that?
That's the Kinks, Father Christmas, which you're going to add to the In Madness Spotify playlist.
Very good. Very good. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Vertebrae. Thank you for doing this show with me for 2 years. Happy 2-year anniversary of In Madness Pod.
It's an anniversary party from a distance. So both Bette Midler and I, from a distance. You don't have to add that.
No, that's okay.
This is how we party. This is how we party. But truth be told, we were trying to actually be in the same place at the same time, and I'm on 65 minutes sleep. So
let's chalk it up to two relatable words: holiday stress.
Yeah, I got in a fight at the mall over some stuff, and then I was inside a snow globe afterwards. It was a whole to do. But no, I'm excited to be here. 2 years, man. 2 years. That's like, I don't know. That's pretty impressive. So
I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my back and my feet. I love doing this show. You sent me our Wrapped of the year for In Madness and all the progress we made, and it has been incredible. It brought a huge smile to my face, much like this, our Christmas episode, our year in review, our holiday party, In Madness Pod. I'm looking forward to everything next year is going to hold for us. And we did ask everybody for their voice notes. So make sure you follow us on the socials at In Madness Pod. And we appreciate you sending your emails and your voice notes for the In Madness Year in Review Holiday Special, inmadnesspod@gmail.com. You can email us anytime about anything you hear on this podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Fa la 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 la. I got my Bah Humbug hat on. Vertebrae's got the Christmas lights from A Christmas Story, the big gigantic fat bulbs wrapped around his neck. I love it. Check out the In Madness Spotify playlist that Vertebrae mentioned, which will now house what song? The Kinks?
The Kinks, man. Father Christmas.
Usually we drop a new episode every Monday. I don't know what day Christmas is. It doesn't matter. It is Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for listening. Tell everyone you know in your annoying ass family that you can't stand being around about this podcast. So when you get together next year, you can all come together around the tree and talk about In Madness Pod. And if you want to get a shirt for the last minute gift, it may not get there today, but it'll be there soon. Get yourself a shirt. inmadness.com. And
awesome.
Most importantly,
what
mug do you have for the holiday special of In Madness Pod?
I've got the Grinch.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I got to ask you real quick, favorite Christmas movie?
I like a lot of them.
Do you have like one that you're like, I'm going to, like, it's your go-to? I know you have one.
I mean, A Christmas Story is on a lot, so I kind of just end up watching it over and over again. I tell you, from the podcast, Krampus has become a go-to for me every year. Got to watch it at least once, usually more than once. I do love myself a Yule log as well, Sean. I'll put that on and listen to Christmas music. But A Christmas Story, I think, is right up there, although I really love Elf as well. I think Elf is phenomenal.
I do the Yule log too. I put on the Yule log, but with the crackles, and then on my Bluetooth, I put on the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack, which is the greatest of all time. Maybe I'll put one of those jams on for our holiday special on the In Madness Spotify playlist.
Yeah, this is the holiday special. I wish we could put on there's some stuff from the Star Wars holiday album, but I don't think it's on Spotify, where you could do
So-
Bells, Bells, Bells by C-3PO, which is
The
fantastic.
the main reason I wanted us to get together in the same room to do this was so we could put the Michael Myers mask burning from Halloween 2 on in the background
Mhm.
as the Halloween In Madness Ulog while we read your emails from the mail sack.
Oh my God, we have a physical mail sack?
There's many in Santa's
Wow.
mail sack, and we also have
Oh
a
my
couple of
God.
voice notes. Thank you everyone for your contributions, your highlights from this past year of In Madness Pod. We're going to get into it all right now. Is there anything you want to do quick, Vertebrae, before I start getting into our In Madness holiday Santa mail sack?
Not really. I mean, this party, Sean, is out of control.
Right? There's
Right
people
now.
doing
Quiet down, quiet down.
yeah. Was it the butt
Come on,
funnel
come on.
where
What?
you do a whole Richard Christie, our buddy Richard Christie, friend of the show In
What
Madness?
kind of holiday party you going
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Where instead of you funnel the beer through your mouth, apparently if you butt funnel, it gets you drunker faster. That's what the legends say.
That is not the
So
kind of party I want to go
that's
to.
what's going on at the In Madness party here. No
Oh
wonder
my God.
Vertebrae didn't come over.
I thought it was just like a bunch of like nerdy dudes talking about Godzilla. I don't know, like by the dip, you know what I mean? But
I make a good dip. We're wearing red. We're smoking green. We're having a good time. What's in your drink, Vertebrae? I know it's not coffee. What do you got in there?
no, I just got some Earl Grey tea, Sean. That's
Oh
it.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
wild.
You don't have
Nothing wild.
Grandpappy's old cough medicine in there.
Yes, it's a full cup of NyQuil that I have. This
Yeah.
is what I drink when we record the podcast. It's just straight NyQuil.
First,
I
gonna
don't
get
even use the little
lubed out.
serving cup. I just pour it right in there.
Shall we get into our first voice note? Because I want to go to a good, cool friend of the show.
Yes, let's go. I'm excited to hear these. I have not heard them at all, so I'm ready.
So this is your buddy. Can you tell us real quick about your buddy David?
Oh, David's awesome. David, I've known him for a long time. 15 years maybe? Longer? 20 years? And awesome dude, used to help me at Comic-Con every single year. Handle on Instagram is Psycho Ninja. Huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, so we probably have to have him come on when we do that. We talked about doing it, and I think I may have mentioned it to him. We definitely have to have him on. But he's not only been a supporter of me and my artwork, and we've been friends for a long time, but he jumped onto the podcast at the beginning, and he listens and will text me about different episodes, and it's pretty awesome. Awesome. And he doesn't live near me anymore, so he's across on the West Coast now.
This dude friggin' rocks. I want him as a guest, whether it's on our Ninja Turtles episode or a 0.5 afterward. Let's get into David's year in review voice note for In Madness Pod on our holiday special. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
What up, In Madness Pod? Mr. The Butcher, Mr. 33. This is your boy, Dave, aka Psycho Ninja 47 on Instagram and YouTube. Hit up the socials. I just want to say I've been a longtime fan of the podcast, as well as a longtime friend of the podcasters in question. Vertebrae 33, we go back a long time. So I just want to let you know, very proud of you guys for what you're doing with this amazing podcast. I've listened to almost pretty much every episode, whether I've seen the movie or not.
Much love.
The ones that I haven't seen, they're definitely in my queues on the Netflixes and the Hulus and all the streamings and all the stuff. Because you guys just have an amazing product. It's like listening to like old timey serials on the radio. You know, just the way you guys deliver the plots to these amazing movies and Mr. 33's gnarly bits. It's just an awesome show, man, for real. I'm really proud of you guys. Keep it up. I have to say one of my favorite moments on the show in the past year was when you guys reviewed The Exorcist. Throughout the entire episode, I can hear like the discomfort in y'all voices talking about this movie. Like it was like, I mean, you've talked about some really crazy stuff, really crazy movies that are gory, that are horrifying, that are scary, that are just bugged out. But for some reason, there was this like discomfort in your voices when you talked about
Yeah.
The Exorcist, which I
On
totally
Christmas.
can understand because I grew up watching that movie, not because I'm not necessarily like a big horror fan. It's not that I don't like the genre; it's just not the genre that I primarily go to. But I have watched my share of scary movies over the years, and The Exorcist, for me as a kid, was more of a punishment from my parents than something that I wanted to watch. Uh, I grew up in a Catholic household, a Catholic Latino household. So anytime you did anything wrong, whether it was, you got bad grades in school, you got into fights with your siblings, you did anything, your parents would tell you, "Oh, Papa Dios, God doesn't like that. So you better act right, or else you're gonna go straight to hell." And what my moms would do, she would be watching The Exorcist, and when the scene comes on, when homegirl's head is spinning 360 degrees and she's spitting out the pea soup and all of that, she would say, come over here, come look at this. This is what happens when you don't do what Papa Dios tells you to do. When you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, this is what's going to happen to you. Satanas, Satan himself, is going to possess you, and he's going to take your soul, and he's going to make you do all this crazy shit. So I totally agree with The Exorcist just being a very, very uncomfortable movie to watch and to talk about. So I just want to say, like, that was probably one of my favorite episodes because I was just cracking up listening to how uneasy it was for you two guys to talk about that movie. Overall, you guys have an incredible show. I love listening to it. Sometimes I like to skip a few weeks and just go binging on like 2 or 3 episodes in a row, especially when it's all the same topic. I love the 0.5s, the 0.75s, the 0.8364s, whatever the crazy number system is. I love the whole thing, man. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. And here's to, I don't know how many episodes you actually have. I don't know, 80 something.
We don't know either.
80 something more for the future. Big ups, guys.
Yeah, I love
Awesome.
Dave. Thank you so much, dude. This is
amazing.
Yeah. What
That's
better
absolutely
way
amazing.
to spend the holiday than listening to people tell us how much they love this show?
That was amazing. Sean, he brought up too, and he's such a great person, a really good friend, and he's really into it and honest, and I love it. But he brings up The Exorcist, and that movie has like it kind of like takes on now like a third life for me. So it was when I knew about it when I was a kid, but I didn't really see it, but I was like really terrified of it. Then I finally saw it as an adult and I was like, this movie's kind of crazy, but I didn't fully absorb it. And then when we did it for the podcast, kind of just going into it, and I think it was coming off of, I shotgunned the audiobook for that episode. So I was literally listening to the book right up until the point of us jumping on to record.
Up Christmas we had last year.
And it was just so weird. And then I start watching the other ones after it. I'm supposed to get out of the world of The Exorcist, but I can't. Yeah. So, that is, I didn't mention it as a yearly watch. I probably should watch it just as an anniversary of us doing it last year on the podcast. And I think we messed people up around Christmas time. This year, we're a little more joyous for everybody. We're hanging out, having a party. But, yeah, it's awesome. It's always amazing to know that people, even when you mention his sort of listening habits, I'll do that too, right? I'll kind of wait a little, and if it's like podcasts that I'm really into, it's like I sort of save them up for certain moments, and I get to listen to them and kind of hang out with friends. So very cool.
Dave Rolls, thank you, Dave. Anytime you want to send us a voicemail or an email or anything, or we're gonna get you on the pod, Dave. You rock. Thank you. Shall we dig into Santa's mail sack?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, who do we got here? It's it's Spooky Speeg. Yeah, Speeg. Okay, let's go. Spooky Speak says, hello to Butcher and Vertebrae. Hello, Spooky Speak. Love you, Spooky Speak. Want to drop you a line to let you know how much I appreciate all the work you both do to bring a slice of happiness on my Monday slog into work. I love you, Spooky Speak. I've been listening since day one, and 2024 has found you demonic dudes hitting your stride. Ooh. That sounds good. The way
Nice.
you go through the way you go through a movie feels like I'm hanging with my friends. Sean paints the picture as Ep.38, all those fascinating, gnarly bits. Yeah. Some choice highlights for me have been Alan, one of my Alien. Woof. Jesus, I can't see this. Alien, one of my
Sean Facts.
I wish the font was bigger on this. One of my all-time faves. Love a spooky haunted house movie, and this Alan, and this one has it all. Jazz hands. He loves the jazz hands. Poor Dallas. Vertebrae opened my third eye with his deep cuts on Arrival. Another one of my favorite moments of the year, of course. I've listened to that episode twice. Sean's love for The Crow was evident throughout the gem of an episode, and I had to rewatch it as soon as I got home that night. If I could make a request 2025, more Sean Facts.
Sean Facts. Well, he got one right there. Look at that.
Love you guys. Keep up the fantastic work. You're a loyal subject. Spooky Speak. P.S. When are you going to tackle Giallo? How do you pronounce that? Giallo?
Giallo. So that's
I knew it. Of course, I was saying it wrong.
Yeah, particular type of Italian slasher films that he knows a ton about. So if we do decide to get into that area, we should definitely have him on because he would be the expert we need to guide us through that.
God, people are gonna be hitting us on the socials. I can't believe Sean doesn't know Giallo. What a fucking poser.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey,
if they're hitting us up, they care. Oh, who cares? Come on now. It's part of the charm.
Ready? Shall we dig back in? Was there anything you want to get to before I dig back into the sack?
No, I just Spooky Speak. Thank you so much for listening. Speak. He's a big podcast listener in general, so it's an honor to have him include us in the group of podcasts that he listens to.
Who do we got? Hunter Higgins. Thank you, Hunter Higgins, for writing in at inmadnesspod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. What up, Vertebrae and Butcher? What up? How's it going, Hunter? Another awesome year of In Madness, almost in the books. You guys genuinely never disappoint with any of the items you cover, and that isn't limited to just the film reviews either. All the coolest stuff from music to toys, collectibles to different events you guys attend. New York Comic Con, the music shows you host, one coming up in exactly 1 month from today when you're hearing this episode on December 25th. Check us out January 25th, Amityville Music Hall in Long Island, New York. And all common interests of mine and all the other fellow In Madness listeners. Thank you all. You two are a couple of my long distance buddies. I can always count on you for more the most interesting conversations. You rule. Thank you, Hunter. To boil this year of In Madness down to one singular favorite moment is really hard, but I think I can narrow it down to 3. Ooh, I like this.
Okay, here we go.
Finally, covering Alien, not Alan, was something I have been waiting from you to do literally since the first episode ever dropped, and you knocked it out of the park. Knowing how important it is to you too, and how that compares to how much the original film and the franchise in general means to me is so cool to compare and contrast. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed our most recent Alien Romulus episode. Number 2, ready?
Yeah.
It follows such a unique, intriguing, just the right amount of confusing type of film that is near the top of my list as far as creative horror goes. Funny thing is that movie also wears a lot of its influences right on its sleeve. Vertebrae. I think if you watch it a couple more times, you will continue to find more and more reasons to enjoy it. P.S. I really don't think it needs a sequel, but I guess that's happening, so fingers crossed it doesn't suck.
That's awesome.
Number 3, I have never been a fan of the Godzilla franchise.
Okay.
And let alone kaiju culture in general. The only reason I have seen Godzilla -1 was because In Madness Pod decided to cover it.
Wow.
And let me say, this may be the best film I watched all year.
Whoa.
Congratulations on enlisting a new fan to the Godzilla family. My man Hunter, make sure you check out our Godzilla vs. Megalon episode 30-something.5 or whatever. Vertebrae's lighting up with joy. Check us out on YouTube. He's either lighting up with joy or hanging himself.
No, I was showing you. I got a Godzilla -1 hoodie.
Oh,
on.
is that what that is? I can't. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
hold
hard
on.
to see.
It's hard. I'm in the darkness, Sean.
Yeah,
Let's
you
lighten it up
gotta
a little
send me
so
a
you can
picture
see.
of that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's sick. Now I see it. That's sick. Make sure you check us out on YouTube.
Oh, too bright. Oh my God.
He says, hope this email wasn't too overwhelming. I know it was, and I apologize. Just had to share my thoughts with some of the coolest podcasters there are. See you next year, Hunter Higgins. I mean, come on.
That's
This is
awesome.
how I want to spend my holiday. Thank you. Thank
awesome.
you for enjoying this show as much as we enjoy doing it, and like equally like the amount of work that we put into it. Like, I'm glad to see it absorbing.
Sean, too, I was cracking up because, like,
Thank you, Hunter.
What if there was a movie about some creepy dude named Alan on a ship
Man, it looks
that
dude,
just stalks people, and then
it-
this changes the entire franchise, right? We
It's
get
so
Alan
funny.
and Alan Covenant and Alan Romulus and
when we were
Alan
gonna,
Resurrection.
when we were gonna do this in person, we were gonna print out all these emails, and I don't have a
God.
printer, so I told Vertebrae, I was like, "You gotta print these out." And then
I did.
2 days later, I said, "You have to print it out in enormous font because it's so hard for me to read." So here I am reading once again, since I don't have anything printed out. I'm reading it in the smallest font possible. So Alien looks like Alan, mother effers. Merry Christmas. Ready? Do you have anything, Vertebrae? Are we going back to the sack?
No, I got to see
What's that?
this Alan movie now.
All right, who do we got? Jeremy Dean. Okay, thank you, Jeremy Dean. He says, I loved the Nightmare episodes. However, I wish part 3 got an episode of its own. Freddy is equally scary and darkly humorous, and my God, the kills in this movie are just amazing. And this being my first horror movie, I was shocked in the first part of the movie where Kristen gets her wrist slit. Anyway, keep up the good work, boys. Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think that we certainly could have plucked that one out and done its own episode on it. We kind of just were like, how do we tackle this enormous franchise? So we decided to do it in the most sort of unsafe and unhealthy way for Sean and I, and just shotgun all of them into
Check
one.
out that 0.5 where we did every Freddy sequel in one friggin' show. Merry
The
Christmas,
thing is, Sean, is we challenged ourselves at the end of this year a lot because we hit those Nightmare films, and then we went into Romulus, which is we have a lot of sort of different views on, and I think that was, we can kind of coast when it's easy when we both like absolutely love the film we're doing 100%, and then I think it's challenges us a little when we have to stay positive and focus on what we like when we're kind of going off the rails. So this little post-holiday break will be good for us to recharge, I think.
Yeah, we're also taking a post-holiday break, but we'll get more into that later at the end of the episode. Jesus, yes. Can we get a little rest? Are we going back to the sack? You had some things in the beginning you said you wanted to hit me with, but I don't know. I want to make sure you don't forget to hit me with those things you said you were going to let me know about.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. I think
okay.
Yeah,
I'm going
we'll
back
be
to
all
the
right.
sack. Back to the sack. We got, let's see who we got next in the In Madness sack. Okay, we have Will Gomez. Shout outs to Will Gomez, bass player of Lost Becomes, the homie Will. He says, yo, happy holidays, fellas. Love this fucking episode. Oh, he titled it Nightmare on Elm Street. We got another one. The one and only funeral throughout the movie for the guy who was in jail cracked me up. Everyone went to school the next day after Tina died. Ha ha ha. I never realized that until listening to this episode. Keep up the good work, Gomez. Thank you, Gomez.
Yeah, I've been sort of bouncing back and forth between. Thank you very much, Will Gomez. Awesome, incredible. Can't wait to be at the show. Sean, I didn't buy a ticket yet. Is it sold out? Can I still get a ticket
to this
Do you know
show
anybody?
that we're putting on?
Yeah. Can I get in? Do I have to work the door?
I didn't get one either yet. We're
Oh,
gonna figure this out.
okay.
We're gonna get this
We're
all
gonna-
worked out. Don't you
Okay,
worry.
I'll
Maybe
help carry some
did you
symbols
ask
in the back
Santa
or
for
something.
one? Did
For
you ask
tickets?
Santa? What did you ask
No,
Santa for?
because
What did you ask for this year?
Santa would never believe that I wanted to go anywhere, so that would just be like a lie. I'm gonna get called naughty for,
What did
making
you
up
put on your
big
Christmas list? What
lies.
did you ask for?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It's like, it's usually like books and records and stuff, but I mean, that's not nothing like out of control. I don't ask for much. I end up getting the things I want, and then, I like to give. Sean, and we're not seeing each other in person. On my desk in front of me is your Christmas gift.
Oh man.
So I was gonna have you open it on camera.
Oh man. Well,
But maybe we'll have you come out here one night and we can do an impromptu hangout. That's it. You can laugh at me now when I say that because it's like almost impossible.
are you going to be home tomorrow? Podcast aside, are you going to be home tomorrow? Realistically,
I am.
all right, good. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow then. Anyway, shall we go back to the sack? Shall we go back
Yes.
to the
Back
sack?
to the sack. Back to the sack.
Back to the sack. All right, who we got? Fresh out of Santa's sack. Capozzi, frontman of Lost Becomes. We got all of Lost Becomes in the house. Capozzi says, "Happy holidays." Oh wait, Capozzi left us a voice note. That's what Capozzi's is.
He put a voice note in the sack.
Yeah,
Wow.
he put a voice note in the sack. Wait, let me just get it set up because I wasn't prepared for this. Okay,
We put an echo on his voice when he does.
Yeah, let's go share this. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can hear this from Capozzi out of Santa's sack.
Hey, what's up? It's Anthony from Lost Becomes. Just want to say happy holidays and congrats in Madness. You made it this far. What is it, a year? 2 years? I can't keep track. It's a number system. But you guys were asking for favorite moments from the show.
Please.
Damn it. It had to be the Halloween episode recently?
Mm-hmm.
When you guys talked about Alien, hearing the passion for both of those movies.
Thank you.
That honestly got me on my jollies. And the show episode where you had me and Washed Up Media on.
Of course he loves his own
Washed Up
episode.
Media himself. I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for this next Hot and Heavy.
Thank you. Yes.
Keep on keeping on, good brethren.
Yeah, Hot and Heavy is what we're like tagging these shows because we got hot chicken and heavy music. So that's what we're
Oh no, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I thought he was referring to me and you, and we were gonna fight over who was hot and who was heavy.
Ready to
Thank you,
back
Capozzi.
into the
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Capozzi. I also love the Capozzi and Washed Up Media episode. Man, we put on an amazing show this year. It was like a highlight not only of like the year, but of like life. I've always wanted to like help put on a show, and the fact that we got to do it and be a part of it and hang our banner in the background and like have bands shout us out, like it was just so epic. Bigger and better for 2025, and in exactly a month from now, January 25th, Amityville Music Hall, we're doing it again with Moontooth and Lost Becomes and Atomic Life and Blame God and Trip Villain. I think that's the full lineup. I can check that later. Back to the sack. All right. This is a real one. I think that's all the voice notes we have. The rest are all straight up paper. We still deal in a paper system here on Into Madness. We got Matt Weaver. He says, "Mad year." Oh, this is a long one. Okay, ready?
Yes.
What's up in Madness Pod? My name is Matt from Lancaster, PA. What up, Matt? Thank you for writing in. I've been listening to the pod since I first heard Sean introduce it on Liquid Metal. That's what's up. I remember it started from a handful of Christmas movies like Gremlins. Woo! I think that was episode 2. And Krampus episode 1, because the pod started in December. Damn right. Happy 2-year anniversary. Love you. Mwah. I was on board right away because I was still on the high of winning into the trivia pit earlier that year. Oh, cool. Congrats. Past trivia pit winner. Butcher winning, and Butcher being one of my favorite DJs on the station. Oh man, why would I ever edit this email? I knew this would be a podcast I would keep coming back to. Thank you Matt. I appreciate it. I love that this pod has got me to watch huge blockbuster movies that I overlooked growing up, such as Terminator and Predator. Woo!
Yeah.
I always thought these movies seemed too old or possibly too campy, so I never gave them a chance. After those episodes, my wife and I fell in love with them and were mind blown that it took so long to watch them. We're 33. Ah, cool. That's great. That's what I feel the purpose of this entire podcast is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He says, my favorite movie from the year was easily The Crow. Yeah, there's nothing to be said about this movie that hasn't been perfectly said before. It's a masterpiece. I can honestly say it changed my whole life. In 7th grade, there was this cute girl in my science class who I became best friends with because she was equally obsessed with this movie. We would call each other on the phone and each start of the movie from the beginning and watch it over the phone together. Now you could do it along with In Madness Pod. How romantic. Yeah, I had to pause my VHS tape every so often because hers was recorded from TV, so it had commercials on it. This is such romance for the holidays. I love it. They should write a song about this. Long story short, that girl became my wife 5 years ago. Congratulations. We spent the last decade happily together in metal, music, and horror. Now my milking of the alpacas moment. Done, done, done. The woman I married is also the winner of the missed alternate ending right. Yes, Melina Sarmento, the winner of the missed contest that we did, our very first contest on
nice.
Madness Pod. Very cool. It's good to have the whole
That's
family.
awesome.
Thank you. Anyway, best movie ever. Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever. Shout out to The Crow. Yeah, very cool. I realize this is getting very long-winded. I love how people know to keep it fucking.
Well, they don't want to get you. They don't want to get you upset, Sean.
So I'll close with thank you for this pod. It's something I look forward to when I'm miserable at 5 a.m. on a Monday morning, wiring houses at work. That's why we do this on Mondays, because Mondays suck. And now we have made it better. You're welcome. You guys help me appreciate movies I didn't even know I necessarily like. I don't like V for Vendetta, but it was really cool hearing you guys talk about it. Also, Lucy was great. We liked it a lot. They aren't all going to be winners. I get it. I understand. P.S. Sean, don't feel bad going down at the Sanguisugabog concert. That was my least favorite moment of the last, I don't know what that, last year? I think that was last
the year before, I think, yeah.
I also went down hard when it came to Maryland. When they came to Maryland a few months ago, I got the football for 2 seconds before getting absolutely obliterated. If you know, you know. Hail the madness. Thank you, Matt Weaver. Yeah, what Sanguisugabog does at their shows, they throw a football in the pit and they say whoever brings up the football at the end of the song gets a free shirt. So everyone clobbers the shit out of each other for the football so they can get the shirt. It's very funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's
the
crazy.
Bog. Shout outs to the Bog. Thank you, Matt Weaver. Very cool.
That's awesome. I got nervous there for a second when he was like bringing up that story. I'm like, I really hope that he married her. Otherwise, this is going to play out poorly for him when Sean reads it. But no, that's awesome. We appreciate you guys listening. And so very cool that you took time to write in. And don't ever worry about being long-winded. Don't worry about it. Sean's trying to rush people on. He's a radio guy. We got to move on for the next break. We got to have a K Jewelers ad that comes up or something, you know.
Listen, you know this.
About
attention spans are minuscule nowadays. We live in a TikTok world where it's flip, 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 flip. I get it. I understand.
My favorite thing, though, and if we're doing like a year in review, is that often, you know, Sean's moving us along at a good clip, and then I just pull us off the rails and kind of babble on for a little bit at a point. And Sean is so patient with me as I get around to the point. But often,
it's the point of
not
this
all
show.
the time, not all the time, but a lot of times, it brings it right back around to the film, you know, that we're watching. Sometimes it's just an AI rant, you know, that's going to happen, Sean. And just to give an update to anyone who's interested in it, I'm currently losing my battle with robots. They destroyed me over the last 24 hours, and both you and my wife had told me to stop because things
Well,
are
no,
happening.
I told you you have to be nice to it. You have to
Yes, you told me I
coddle
have
it.
to be nice. Yes,
Yes.
but I can't seem to do it. So
Just like Rook did with Andy, you know, you were the blueprint of what. Thank you for existing, and can you please make this fucking thing work?
yeah, I don't know. I got too much John Connor in me, Sean.
Yeah, I know. I know. Ready? Back to the sack.
Let's
Back
go.
to the sack. Let's see what Santa has. Let's see. Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening. If this is what you're doing on Christmas to get away from your crazy family, thank you for listening. All right. Who do we got? Oh, we have his wife, Melina Sarmento, the winner of our missed episode.
Hey,
Look at that, back to back. I wonder if they wrote this in the same room together. You guys rule. Thank you for contributing.
thank you.
Thank you for listening. Melina says, "Hey, yo, what's happening, friends? Hey, yo." It's Melina dropping by the mail sack to congratulate you guys on another awesome year. Picking a favorite episode or moment to share with everyone is a difficult task, considering how many highlights there were. So I'm going to talk about a few. That's what I like to hear. Thank you.
Awesome.
First off, I have to mention the movies I've fallen in love with this year, thanks to the two of you. Prey, boom. The Arrival, boom. Godzilla -1, boom. And A Quiet Place, hell yeah, really
Mhm.
stuck with me. I probably wouldn't have watched any of them, -1 being the exception, if it wasn't for the pod. These films don't waste a second of our time. Every detail has a purpose, and even after multiple viewings, I still find myself in awe of how they all come together. And I wanted to thank you guys for recommending these in particular. Y'all tried to warn me about the trauma of fire in the sky, but I wanted to see something I'd find truly disturbing, and let's say it didn't disappoint. Another highlight was getting to go over movies that I already love and adore. The two of you covering The Crow was something I've been waiting for since the start of the pod. I love this movie so much. I got It Can't Rain All the Time tattooed right after I turned 18. Your episodes covering the movie made it obvious that it also holds a very special place for you guys, which made it one of my favorite episodes ever. I don't even want to mention that other movie. Oh, but I do love how much Sean especially hates that it got made. Oh, the other Crow movie. It Follows is another movie I fucking love that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. It was awesome to hear it get some love on the pod, and there were more gnarly bits than I imagined. The Bad Movie episode was another one of my favorites, featuring some of my favorites that I loved. I don't care what Vertebrae says. I love Matthew Lillard and Rob Zombie movies. Yeah. The last thing I really loved about the pod this year was all the extra shite. We got mugs, we got a cat cameo. Honestly, the bullshit and banter portion of the pod is always fun and feels like I'm catching up with the homies. Yes, thank you. I especially love Vertebrae's ongoing crusade against the machines.
Oh, there
Oh,
you
the
go.
use of AI and art defeats the purpose of creating art in the first place. The whole thing feels like nobody bothered to watch Ex Machina or Terminator.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you guys for everything you do for us week after week after week after week after week. I'm just telling you guys, we do not stop except for our upcoming break, and for making us part of the pod. It's been so cool seeing the tentacles spread over the last 2 years. I can't wait to see what next year has in store. Me neither. Thank you so goddamn much, Melina. Very cool. Very
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it's
That
great.
is what's up.
That's very cool that they both wrote in. Also, too, if we get Matthew Lillard and Rob Zombie to make a movie together, just they can make movies only together, then I can just systematically avoid those
You're out of your mind.
completely.
We got to do Scream. You just talked about, you went on a Scream binge. I'm sure we got to
I
talk
still
about
haven't done. I still watched the last one. What was the last one? 7? I think I
I
didn't see that.
we
It kind of jumped out.
We could do the Freddy. We'll do the Nightmare on Elm Street thing again, where we do like the
Oh, I
one.
can't do that, Sean.
Bam.
I cannot do that. We have to get to this year to the third Exorcist. We've got to go back into the Exorcist and do the third movie.
Should we just skip the
100%.
sequel?
Yeah, we skipped the
Yeah,
sequel.
who cares, right?
We summarize it in the beginning a little bit,
Okay.
and then we move on because the third one is
Or
pretty.
maybe just do a 0.5, or screw it, or maybe just summarize it real big, quick. In the beginning.
Sean gives us a quick rundown, and we move on. But I think we definitely got to do that. There's a special edition of that just came out too, which maybe I'll grab and we can dive into it.
The sack is angry. Vertebrae. The sack is angry. It's it's speaking to me.
No.
What do we got?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Still working on the analog system here on In Madness Pod. Who we got? Oh, it's the homie Basil. Yeah, Basil, In Madness Pod legend here on the podcast. He says, hey yo, Basil. Basil here saying happy holidays to everyone. Two things stand out in my mind for moments of the year with the In Madness family is number one, seeing Alien in an empty theater. Yeah. Second time seeing it with Sean the Butcher. Number two was the episode with John Langan. After that episode, I went out and purchased The Fisherman, then shortly after finished it. Was definitely interesting. Hear him describe the world and would like to see it turn into a mini series of some sort. Keep up the good work, and Hokey Freddy is the best Freddy. Basil.
That's awesome. Thank you, Basil. Yeah, John Langan was one of my kind of personal highlights for the year because
Close
I've
personal friend of the show.
Wanting to get authors on here, and we're going to do more with books in the new year. And while we're doing that, Sean, I gotta throw something out to you. I gotta ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
What if we did like a book club once in a while, where like we read a book and we kind of like dived into some off episodes and summarized some?
This will be a task for me because I have had the book Jurassic Park for 3 years in my book bag, and as of now, I'm like 60 pages into it.
Mm-hmm.
The book thing is really now. I'm going to be on the train a lot more. I don't know.
You could do it, Sean. You could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
But it will
if
be
I like
a period of
Goosebumps
like
books.
a year or something like Goosebumps. But anyway, look at that. I just meanly throw that out to Sean when he does.
No, I mean it's a good idea. I just don't know if it's a reality.
I'm just trying to find a way to kind of tie that in more to what we do here.
I think we could interview
about the novelizations.
Yeah, if we could interview authors and stuff, I could shotgun. Man, I shotgun The Fisherman. That was like 10 hours, and like every waking moment, I had it in my ear, and I'm listening at like 1.5 speed, so it's like blah, 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 like,
which is crazy because that's a hard book unto itself to understand at regular speed and taking your time. Because I think that's one that I listened to, I started to listen to again because you just after you sort of know where it's headed, you find a lot of things in there. But John's working on a bunch of other stuff. They announced a book coming out for him in 25, something coming out for him in 26. So we've been in communication. Love to have him on again. Love to have on a few other people from that kind of crew of authors that we mentioned with John, and we're working on that as well. But yeah.
Ready for the sack? We got a couple more. We got two more.
Okay.
Sack.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's dig in. What did Santa deliver us on this Christmas? Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas. I ripped the mail. Who is it? We got. Oh no, we don't have two more because that was David was the other one. We have one more. This is our last of the sack.
Okay.
And it is an epic one, and it's kind of the reason I saved it for last, from Tom Henderson.
Okay.
Shout outs to Tom Henderson, friend of the show.
Awesome.
He says, hello, Sir Vertebrae, and greetings, Dr. Butcher MG. That's marketing genius. Yeah, I remember that. We are marketing geniuses. 2024 was an absolutely amazing year for In Madness. So many classics to choose as a favorite. Predator, The Crow, -1, Alien. I love that everyone sort of points out the same highlight episodes. That's super cool. And I said Alien, not Alan. Where the hell am I? And any one of these would be an excellent choice for episode of the year.
Oh wow.
To an award for episode of the year? How do we gauge that? Do we just go by like the most listened to episode? I don't know. That's cool. Thank you. Tom says, however, my favorite episode from 2024 was actually a 0.5. Episode 31.5 to be exact when you fellas interviewed author John Langan.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go.
I absolutely love reading, and I collect horror books like Sean collects t-shirts and like Vertebrae collects mugs. Your fantastic interview helped me to add numerous titles and authors to my ever-expanding library. For example, I recently finished the fantastic book Mave Fly, which Mr. Langan recommended. Vertebrae, if you haven't already read it, you need to.
I have not. I have In addition to collecting records and mugs, I collect books, and I tend to purchase them, and they pile up. So it's in a to read list somewhere.
He says our episode was expertly well done and highlighted why In Madness is the premier podcast. Please add more horror authors to your special guest list if at all possible. Hell yeah. As always, I fucking love you guys. I deeply appreciate the content. Happy holidays to you and your families. Looking forward to 2025. Make mine madness, Tom. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Now, but wait, there's more.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie. Santa sort of gave me a heads up about some of the mails in this sack, and I realized that Tom Henderson had a very long ending to this email, so I sort of saved it for last for a reason.
Okay.
Tom has 25 questions he would like us to answer right now.
Oh my, 25 questions. Wow. Is it? I hope they're movie related, not just like, arithmetic or something.
Ready? We're gonna put the sack away for a second.
Let me
get ready. Let me take a sip. Let me take a drink here first. Let me just focus my head. Tom Henderson's fucking vertebrae looks like he's releasing some of that Christmas gas in there. I don't know what he's doing.
I was just standing up for a second. I'll be releasing Christmas gas.
Back or something.
Lowering the mic down. Yeah.
Ready? Better.
I'm ready. I'm sitting up straight. Here we go. I need a new chair for 2025, Sean.
That could be your resolution.
Yeah.
Better Carpenter film, Halloween or The Thing?
The Thing.
Really? That's so hard for me. I'll go The Thing. I'm gonna go The Thing. I'll go The Thing.
By better, I say it just hits me.
Yeah.
It feels better.
Yeah, I don't know. I might say Halloween because it was my first.
I started my morning off this morning sitting in an ice-covered, snow-covered igloo in my backyard, listening to The Thing soundtrack while drinking a cup of coffee. So I'm building my own outpost. It's Outpost 33 here, not 31. So it's safer, but I'm going to go The Thing.
All right, I'm going to go The Thing. Favorite old school monster: Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, etc. I know yours.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I'm going to say the exact same thing because I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm not going to copy all your answers. I promise.
Okay.
That was the first one I thought of, and then I was like, oh shit, it's the same one that he has. Anyway, question 3: film that never got a sequel that you wish did. Oh, Tom's always got really good questions. Film that never got a sequel that I wish did. Maybe. Oh, and I know there's a couple too, and it's just so hard to think of them right at this very moment. I mean, would The Thing be one of them? I don't know.
I think it would, but that's the careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I don't think I
write a sequel that you.
I don't think I want that. Maybe 7.
Yeah, they would have called it 8.
Yeah, or like whatever. Just like in the same, that same world. Oh man,
I think for sure if 7 came out now in this time period, they would build into that world like they did Penguin and the Batman world. I think they would definitely build into that world. A movie, the sequel, I don't know.
But I think
it's funny now they make them all.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They make them later on.
Yeah, that's a hard.
I got one. I'm gonna say The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
Because although it stands alone as this amazing achievement, that's a world that we could have easily visited again, and we never did.
It's a good answer. Good answer. Yeah, I'll probably think of more. If I think of more, I'll tweet them. But yeah, maybe 7. I know there's probably another one. But okay, keep going. More questions. Favorite animated film? Beavis and Butthead Do America.
It's pretty good. That's a pretty good choice.
Or South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
I was going to say Akira.
Oh, damn you. Always the smarter one, this guy.
But I mean, I do love Beavis and Butthead. Yeah. Was it the Niagara Falls? This is the one where they go to Niagara Falls?
It's the Hoover Dam, and then he's like,
the Hoover Dam. It's the Hoover Dam, right?
Is
it's
there
the
a
Hoover Dam
goddamn?
Yeah, yeah.
Question 5 for Vertebrae. Favorite Star Wars character?
Oh my God. You can't narrow it down to one.
Come on.
It's hard to narrow it
Come
down
on.
to one.
Top 3.
Top 3 Star Wars characters.
Is Yoda up in there?
I don't know, Sean. I need time on this one. I'm trying to think. You name yours while I name, because I'd love to hear you name any.
Yeah, I mean, I know Yoda and Luke and Leia and Chewie. I'm not a C-3PO or R2-D2. It's the robots. The robots. That's the AI. I'm not a fan of them. But yeah, Chewie's the guy. Chewie's the guy.
I would say Chewbacca is right up there. I give a shout out to Blast Points podcast and say Dengar, because they had a whole thing about the bounty hunter Dengar, which is fantastic. And I'd have to break it into categories, like modern characters, like Grogu's a phenomenal character. Mandalorian is great. I got some love for General Grievous. Love some Darth Maul.
Jabba the Hutt. I fuck with Jabba the Hutt. Darth Maul is a good Sith. I'm a Darth.
Oh, whoa, Sean! Look at you.
I went when those movies came out, like the
Mhm.
the sequel. I went and it was the hype. That was like in the prime of like my movie going era. So I've seen like all of the Star Wars movies pretty much. But they do not, like, none of them. They all kind of like blend together for me. I can't.
Mhm.
I'm not good at grasping a story. I kind of just want to go to a movie to F off and watch a movie. And there's a lot of weight in the Star Wars movies, and there's a lot of stories. So, but I go see them just because, like, I like being part of the conversation, even though I have no idea what's going on. But Jabba the Hutt's cool.
Yeah.
I like Jabba.
I like all the creatures a lot. Obviously, I have a lot of Boba Fett stuff. I think that was kind of, my age group. People were super into Boba Fett. I really love Baze and Chirrut from Rogue One a lot. Human characters.
All right, you're naming a lot more than one.
So there you go. It's way more than one. Darth Vader. There you go. There it is.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Okay.
Question 6: favorite Saturday morning cartoon. You want to go first, or I mean, so Bobby's World.
Bobby's World.
Man, when I was a kid, yeah, that was what I grew up watching. Bobby's World and the X-Men, the original X-Men from the 90s cartoon, definitely. I watched the 97 remake on Disney Plus. It's all right. It's not nearly as good. I don't know. But I like the original ones. The original ones are also on Disney Plus, so check that out. Yeah, I'd say X-Men and Bobby's World.
I really like this Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Do you remember the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that they had that was pretty good?
Nope.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Super Friends, those are really old ones. Garfield was pretty good when it was on. You didn't mess with the Smurfs, Sean? That was a good set.
Nah. Well, when
there was a Mr. T cartoon in the 80s as well.
Yeah, I grew up on X-Men and Bobby's World. I mean, in Ninja Turtles, but I remember Ninja Turtles wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon.
No, it wasn't Saturday morning. It was it was starting to wane a little bit as a thing. I'd always end up watching when the cartoons were done. They'd put the Three Stooges on, so I ended up watching like a lot of Three Stooges as well. But yeah, I liked the Amazing Spider-Man and Friends was a good one too. Yeah.
Any other favorites?
No, I'm just gonna name them all just to be safe, so I don't offend anybody. I like that cartoon Alan. Did you ever see that cartoon Alan?
Shut up. Number 7, favorite superhero.
Batman.
100%. I'm not copying you, just Batman.
But I will say my favorite comic book character is Swamp Thing.
Okay.
My favorite superhero is Batman.
Batman, definitely. Yeah, me too. That was question 7. Question 8, follow-up. Ooh, Marvel or DC?
God, that was such a debate back in the day. Like everybody would be like,
Marvel
or DC, Marvel or DC.
Marvel, 100%. And that's the thing. Like, it's funny because I'm a Marvel dude, but 100% DC have the best character with Batman.
Yeah, the thing is I feel like it was Marvel when I was younger, and then it became DC because if you got Batman, you got Swamp Thing, you've got Alan Moore, all the stuff Alan Moore did. DC and the Vertigo imprint and all of what they did. So I would say for readability on what I would go back to now, it's DC.
Yeah, I'm a Marvel guy. Marvel was always it for me. I grew up collecting all those Marvel cards.
I mean, I have them all, and tons of books, but I think now is like, if I had to pick something up and read right now, reread something, it wouldn't be Spider-Man, you know.
Let me see if I could do this real quick. Look at this. Check us out on YouTube. This is all my Marvel cards.
Oh, nice. Look at
On a
that.
poster.
Nice. You're also doing an ad for to get the reflection on the side of
whatever,
it.
man.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, no,
Very
I've been
cool.
collecting. These are all so I collected all these cards as a kid, and they're just sitting in a frigging box, and I'm like,
Yeah, I have some too.
I'm not even like, I can't even see them. So I was like, I want them in a poster frame, and now I can see them, and it just reminds me of my childhood. Okay, we got more. Ready?
Here we go.
Favorite horror sci-fi franchise crossover would you most like to see? Horror sci-fi franchise crossover. So it would be Alien something.
Yeah, maybe Alien and Annihilation.
How about, I mean, so, okay. Does Alien versus the Thing count?
I mean,
Or is that both sci-fi?
They're both kind of sci-fi horror.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It would be Alien Xenomorph something. How about we switch it up? Instead of sci-fi horror, we do sci-fi superhero, because I think friggin' Batman versus Alien would be sick. There's probably a comic of it already.
There already is a comic. Yeah. What about like Doctor Who and you know, Michael Myers?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, there you go. You don't know anything about Doctor Who. I just threw that out.
I figured you'd be like Star Wars and Chucky or something.
Yeah, but Star Wars is space fantasy. I don't consider it.
Sci-fi. Yeah. Mine would be using Xenomorph and something. I don't know.
But I do love the Annihilation universe and the books of Annihilation. So I think there's something we could roll into there. Something with Arrival would be fantastic. Maybe it's Arrival and It Follows rolled together. Could you imagine that? Oh my!
Just looking around to see what horror, and I'm like, I see like The Shining, and be like, The Shining with a Xenomorph.
Oh geez, so that's Sean's answer to everything. I'd like it better. Like some people are like, I'd like it better with ice cream on top. Sean's just like, I'd like it better if you
with
put
the
a Xenomorph.
Number 10. What's your favorite pizza topping? Pepperoni.
Yeah, I was gonna say pepperoni, but
All right.
I mean, it's not. Although you know, I lean a little like meatballs. Not bad. Get funkier toppings these days, but yeah, pepperoni's the tried and true.
What would you be watching if you weren't researching films?
I mean, it'd be all the same movies, I guess.
My go-to is Godzilla 1985, the American remake. I watch. It's my comfort movie. Like when I just need something on in the background, it's constantly Godzilla 1985.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do like documentaries a lot too. I like documentaries of people like creating, like, you know, other artists or musicians or, you know, authors and stuff. So I watch those. We don't cover those, aren't ones we cover on the podcast. So that's kind of outside of here that I do that.
Favorite beer?
Oh man,
I'm Corona Modelo always.
Yeah, it's so hard because now there's like a gazillion IPAs, and I never remember the name of any of them. I just buy them, and like that's good, and then I can't remember when I go to the store again. I do really like Oberon, which is a beer that Spieg is a beer expert, and he turned me on to.
Question 13. We're getting there. Would you ever consider a live watch party? Yes. And
yes.
2025,
yeah.
I think.
We've talked about it a lot. We just have to work out some of the technical logistics as well as our ability to just be in the same exact place at the same time.
What's your favorite snack to eat while you're watching films?
I mean, I do love Doritos.
Stu Leonard's cheddar cheese popcorn.
Oh my God, that's very specific. That's regionally specific. Anyone listening around the world or other parts of the country, they have no idea. You know, Sean, I have this new favorite thing. I start to do what I call my 7 mega mix. So I take 7 different things. So it would be popcorn, Cheez-Its, Doritos, Goldfish, popcorners, puffs, and mix them in a bowl.
So you
And
got
what
a
I
kid, so you got all this awesome shit in your house.
So what we do is, because you have all these snack bags, so you can just dump the snack bags in there, and then I put on Megadeth while I make it. So it's basically when it kicks in, I have to make the mix in like the beginning riffs of the thing. So I'm just like and like throwing the mix in there. So we do a set. I can get to 7 very quickly because there's lots of little random like snack bags around. But I'll one day I'll get you some 7 mix, Sean. You'll love
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get you some Stu Leonard's cheddar cheese popcorn.
That's awesome.
I love it. It
Throw
is
it in.
so nasty. You stick your hand in the bag and like from your it's like it's a long vertical bag that they
Mm.
sell it in, and when you take your hand out from the elbow up, it's just covered in like
Wait, gotta
cheese
pour
grease.
that in a bowl. What are
Oh
you
no, I
doing?
eat it right out of the bag.
Do you?
Yeah.
You just attach the bag when you're watching the movie.
Yeah, like a
That's
feed bag,
awesome.
like a horse. 17, what do you think is who do you think is the worst horror villain now? Worst is in like they sucked, or worst is in like they're the Miss Carmody of villains? Because if so, Miss Carmody probably.
Oh yeah, like who's the most evil? I would say anything Rob Zombie does is probably the worst character.
What about the most evil?
Most evil. So that's funny when you bring up the Miss Carmody thing, Sean. It's interesting because there's a lot of characters that are sort of outwardly evil. They're the creepy ones, or in The Mist, you have all the monsters, but she's really the most evil in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think it's as we do these movies, I start to get into these other characters and like these human characters, and you realize just how awful human beings they are. And they're really evil. A lot of those parents in the 80s horror movies are just awful human beings. I didn't really answer it, did we? We didn't really answer it.
I'm going Miss Carmody because I put her in. She was one of the first to go in the In Madness Villain Hall of Fame, and besides,
But if he
her,
means like corny bad,
yeah, if he means like who's the
and I
crap,
got us covered.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
then it's like
well.
House of 500 Corpses.
Well,
or
I was gonna say for the actual, also Hans Gruber is one of like the greatest. But if he means the worst, like who's the worst villain, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know you're not a big Friday the 13th fan, so I think that's probably up there for you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's like sacrilege to say that, but I don't know. People love them. Whatever. Good for them. Yeah, I'm still going Miss Carmody. She's like the most epic of villains, and that's what I'm gonna interpret the question as. Favorite Halloween costume?
I don't know. Like one that we had or one that we've seen people do?
Man, if
What's
we're
your
gonna
favorite costume you ever did?
I was Captain Spaulding. I shaved my head like way back in the day, like bald, and I was Captain Spaulding from House of 1,000 Corpses.
Oh, you were? Oh,
Yeah.
you love that movie. Look at me. I'm being mean.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Spalding is it like the basketball company?
I think that's his name. Yeah, Captain Spaulding.
Huh.
Yeah, and he runs the chicken shop, Captain Spaulding, and he has the horror ride. It's a great movie. I'm telling you. I mean, you're missing a lot. But whatever.
I mean, I saw it. I did miss it. I saw it, but
what was yours? What did you have a favorite costume you've ever done?
I don't know. I think one year I was a serial killer with like, actual cereal glued all over the costume. That was kind of fun.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
You're just a whole bag of adorable, aren't you?
Yeah, there you go. Nobody's ever said that in their entire lives, but thank you, Sean.
Best Christmas gift you ever got?
I don't know.
Man.
Doing the In Madness podcast with Sean the Butcher.
I would say Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo.
Okay, there you go.
That's fucking funny. Dream special guest for In Madness. So say it together. Oh, well, dream one that we haven't had yet. John Carpenter.
Well, John Carpenter. We haven't had Stephen King either, but yeah. John
I
Carpenter.
thought you said Sandy King. I'm sorry.
No, Stephen King.
So who would you pick? Oh, Stephen King over John Carpenter.
I don't know who would be. I don't know if John Carpenter would like us.
Well, maybe Stephen King will though.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems a little softer, maybe. I don't know. I think I would hope John would like us, but here's the thing: we would spend our entire time
trying
And-
so hard not to talk about The Thing or Halloween.
Yes, and to ask questions about these movies that we really want to ask. Whereas I think we would just go for it with Stephen King. He doesn't have the rep of not wanting to talk about them. So,
All right, Mr. Cereal. We're almost done. We got 5 more questions. What's your favorite
Okay.
breakfast cereal? He asks.
When I was a kid, it was Captain Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, not a big cereal person anymore, but I do love all the like the Halloween ones when they do them, like the Frankenberry and the yeah.
When I was a kid, it was Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. Now I'm an adult.
Oh,
As
those
an
are good.
adult, and also Count Chocula, you know. But now as an adult, Frosted Mini Wheats is the jam. But also like a couple months ago, they had Frankenberry and Boo Berry and Count Chocula like all out, and I haven't seen them in forever. So I grabbed one of each, and I don't think I've ever had Frankenberry in my life, and I fell in love with this stupid ass cereal. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to get more Frankenberry. Next week, gone, never to be seen again. Not till next October. Heartbroken. So I'm feeding for some Frankenberry.
You know,
now it's going to be Frosted Mini Wheats.
so I think I was like in my early 20s, and I decided like, oh, I should eat healthier, and I'll have what I thought was a healthier cereal. So like I took to Raisin Bran because I was like, oh, that's but it's still kind of sugary. And like I ate like a lot of Raisin Bran, and then I realized why you shouldn't eat a lot of Raisin Bran, and I was like, wow, this was a really bad idea. Yeah.
Learning life lessons through eating breakfast cereal. That's what's up. Favorite concert you have attended?
Man, oh God. I got a few that I bring up that the Night of Nothing at Irving Plaza many years ago, where Marilyn Manson played with 9 Inch Nails, and Marilyn Manson famously threw the mic stand over his back and cracked the drummer in the head. That was a big show for me. That was a big like industry show too at the time. So it was like Dr. Dre is there, and you know, Flea and all these other people. That was cool to see that crowd. That's up there. I know they're not your favorite, but there's a Tool show that I went to that was absolutely amazing. I don't know. It's so hard, Sean, because seeing some like Pantera back in the day, now you think of it now and you're like, what? I think I took it for granted then. Like they're just around, so you just see them a lot. What was it? When they did Clash of the Titans, there was the new Titans on the Block tour, and that was Sacred Reich, Sick of It All, Napalm Death, and Sepultura, and that was an incredible show at the Trocadero in Philadelphia.
So did you see Sepultura in the Max Cavalera days?
Yes. Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah. That was a back in the day show. And that was in the summertime. It was so incredibly hot. I think there's video that I found recently online of it where they're at one point in the show they just like hosed the crowd down, but also the bartenders were just taking the bartender things with like the water and just like spraying it on people. So the whole place was just like water on the floor. And I just remember like seeing with a good friend of mine who listens to this podcast, and the Sepultura is about to play Dead Embryonic Cells, and he was just like exhausted, and we get to the breakdown part and he's kind of just like leaning on my back for a second, and we're just sweaty, disgusting messes before the place is about to erupt. That was incredible. Seeing Danzig back in the day, where the openers were Warrior Soul, and I don't know if you remember Warrior Soul, and Soundgarden opening for Danzig, which is a pretty incredible show. But
I mean, not to be a bummer, but the first time I was ever going to see Soundgarden was I was working that festival, which they ended up not doing, because that's when he actually ended up taking his own. So I missed out on Soundgarden because I suck as a human being. But some of my favorite shows, definitely my first one ever, E-Town Concrete, on my birthday, September 24th, 1999, Voodoo Lounge, Queens, New York. Spot is no longer open because too many people got stabbed there. Rest in peace to the Voodoo Lounge. Metallica, Yankee Stadium, Big Four. That was sick. That was so sick. My first Guar show ever. Crazy Donkey, Long Island, New York.
Crazy donkey.
2005 maybe. My first time crowd surfing. They shot me with blood while I was crowd surfing, and then I landed in front of the barricade, and like a bunch of my friends that I didn't know were there were like at the front of the barricade and like saw me come over the barricade, and we freaked, like just covered in blood. Guar at the Donkey. Lamb of God, Lemoore, Brooklyn, Randy Bly, first song, ran out from backstage, jumped in the audience, broke his collarbone, couldn't do the show, and they pulled the kid out of the audience. My first time seeing Lamb of God, and they pulled the kid out of the audience, and he sang like 10 songs with Lamb of God, and it was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That and any Eat the Turnbuckle show. Shout outs to Eat the Turnbuckle. Love you guys.
Wait, Sean, your first concert ever was
E-Town Concrete, Voodoo Lounge, Queens, New York, 1999, my 16th birthday.
wow.
Scary place, scary show, scary times. Late 90s for hardcore in Queens, New York was
that's
a
rough.
rough spot. And being there in that danger, like in the middle of that danger, but right outside the circumference of it. Beautiful. And that got me to doing everything I'm doing now.
That's crazy. My first show, Sean, Kiss.
Yay, that's a big one.
Yeah, my mom took me to see Kiss.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Who opens for micro changes in air density?
Wolves in the Throne Room. That's right. They don't realize it, but they're opening for me.
Who is that? Can you educate me for
You don't know who Wolves in the Throne Room is?
that
We'll put it on
atmospheric
we're gonna add them to the Spotify.
Is that one of your jams?
playlist.
One of your favorite bands?
Oh yeah, Pacific Northwest black metal band.
Of course.
Very earthy, very magical. Good times.
Favorite comedy film?
Oh God. Of all time? I'm gonna say, can we give like a top 5? Let's give it top 5.
Me?
Yeah. You got a top 5?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Boy. Oh man. Old School.
No.
Oh man, I don't know. It's hard. I gotta really think. What about you?
I'm gonna say Old School.
How good?
I'm gonna say Animal House.
Okay. Spinal Tap.
Maybe Spinal Tap. Blazing Saddles. I would put on there. I'm putting old Mel Brooks movies on. People like, this guy's old.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights is probably Miss Vertebrae 33's favorite
I quoted
film of
a roll's a roll and a toll's a toll. And if we don't get no tolls, then we don't eat no rolls. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
No, I didn't say Abe Lincoln. I said, hey, Blinken. Dude, I quoted that movie today. I was walking around and I don't know what happened. But he's like, I am really pissed off. And Chappelle goes, if I was that close to a horse's dick, I'd be worried about getting pissed on. Like, I don't know why I thought of that. Yeah, that's one of the greatest.
Caddyshack. I would say I love Caddyshack. It's hard because a lot of, you know what movie I love that I watch all the time, comedy-wise? The Other Guys.
Oh,
I watched that movie
like
an
absolute masterclass in comedy. Yeah. I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg dude, and I feel he should do strictly comedy movies because he was that. I feel like that was the role he was born to play. Love it. Okay, we got a last question, and then we'll wrap this mother effer up. Sean, is there any chance you could let Vertebrae do a 3-parter on the greatest film ever made? The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, so the debate in my head is always to do those Star Wars films. I don't know that I could do them justice or not. And I think you got to do A New Hope before you do Empire. And if you're going to do Empire, there's no way you could skip Jedi. So then it just becomes an original trilogy thing. It would be incredible. Listen, I have a whole library of books over here about the making of these movies. But I think we would, if we do that, I think we'd probably have to break it up, and we'd probably enlist some help of some of our friends who are probably a little more knowledgeable on certain parts of it than I am. A few Star Wars podcasts that we've mentioned over the years. But I mean, it would be interesting to do it just to have Sean mess up all the the names. That would be fun. But
Joba Fett.
No, but you,
Over the Hutt.
know,
Thank you, Tom, for your email.
Do you know what happens in Empire Strikes Back?
No, so wait, the first one is Star Wars, the second one is Empire,
and
the third one is Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
The second one's the big Charlie spoiler, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I've watched the movies, but they just, yeah, I do. I don't. But aside from that, no, I can't remember what else happens.
Yeah. I mean, we may have to think about it. I don't know. It's funny because
we could do the trilogy. We could do a 3-parter of part 1, 2, 3, but I know they're gonna be long. Fucking, that's gonna be like 3 months worth of Star Wars.
Poor Sean too, right? Because he's just gonna listen to me babble on over and over again about this stuff. But yeah, poor Sean.
That was it from Tom. Thank you, Tom.
That was awesome. Thank you.
You like contributed.
Everybody that contributed is absolutely amazing. Tom kind of laid out the rest of the episode for us, which was awesome.
Thank you, Tom.
I don't know, Sean. I got this poem I wanted to read to you before we finished up.
Whoa. Well, I mean, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to ask you, like, do you have a favorite moment of the year?
You know what, Sean? Let's see. I got to look back at these episodes.
Yeah,
I mean, being
back.
able to successfully record is pretty favorite.
We covered Cloverfield in the beginning of this year. Fire in the Sky. Misery we did. That's a forgotten one.
I really loved Misery. I did.
Prey. We did. The Prey series was incredible.
Absolutely love Prey. Let's see. But it's weird because I kind of mix it up with films versus like us. I'm very hard on myself when we go back and listen to the episodes. So sometimes I judge my enjoyment on whether I sounded like a complete idiot or not. But I loved having
probably Alien or Halloween 2 is one of my 2 highlights.
I mean, episode wise, my 2 non-movie favorite episodes are the Mischief Toys conversation we had and the John Langan conversation that we had. And I want to do more of that stuff as we go along. Movie wise, I mean, listen, everybody hated V for Vendetta, but we stuck with it either way. I'm going to say,
I feel like John Langan was probably one of your highlights. Yeah,
it is. But like if we pick movies, I'm going to say probably Godzilla -1 for sure, and then Alien.
Yeah, I was in London when we were texting about -1. It just dropped on Netflix. Should we do it? Yeah, we're like 6 hours separate from each other. Yeah, great times. Yeah, this has been such a dope year. I can't wait for all the fun movies we're going to cover next year. Okay, poetry time with Vertebrae 33.
Let's see if I can do
Merry
this.
Christmas.
Ready?
Thank you for listening. Happy holidays. I hope you got what you want for Christmas.
But we're not signing off, right? Because we got to talk about.
Go ahead.
Okay. See if I could do this, Sean. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hopes that Krampus and In Madness podcast would be there.
Yeah, thank you, Morgan. Thank you. Did you leave out cookies and milk? What do you leave out?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to.
Of course, man. Yeah.
What kind of cookies?
Let's do it.
Oreos and shit?
No, homemade cookies, man. We got all kinds of cookies over here. We got like 10 different types of cookies over here.
Cool.
We're ready to party.
Cool.
You come by, I'll give you a couple cookies.
Yeah. Oh, boy, man, I might be coming over with some cookies. So just sit tight. And Santa, a big fat man in red's going to be coming by. So that is all of our emails. That is all of our voice notes. Thank you for contributing to 2 years of the premiere podcast, In Madness Pod. Merry Christmas. Make sure you follow us on all the socials at In Madness Pod, inmadnesspod@gmail.com, which is where we get The mail sack. If you send us an email, if you want us to read it on air, we will read it on air. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. You can see all the cool Santa hats and Marvel card posters and Vertebrae's light up necklace. Check out the In Madness Spotify playlist, which after this episode, we add new music to that playlist after every single episode. And after this episode will be no different. There is about 5 to 6 hours of music based on every single episode we have done. And if you want to get a shirt, go to inmadness.com. Now,
Here we go.
okay, so here's the plan. We're going to lay out this plan like live on air because we really didn't even discuss it much. So today is the Christmas. Merry Christmas. You got an In Madness episode on Wednesday. Happy, good for you. I'm so stoked that you got a bonus episode for Christmas because we love you so much. However, this bonus episode is your episode for Monday next week. So this counts as our episode for December 30th. This is how me and Vertebrae do it inside baseball, okay? Then we're going to take a week off. Like just to recalibrate for 2025. We have 2 years of golden podcasts for you to go back and listen to for the week of January 6th through the 12th. And then we will return with a brand spanking ass new episode on January 13th discussing Vertebrae.
Yeah. So on the 13th, we're going to discuss the film The Damned, which comes out January 3rd in the United States. I think everywhere else on the 10th. I have already watched it once, and I'm excited to talk to you about it. It will be a non-spoiler episode. We're not going to give this movie away because it just came out. We will not pull a Charlie on this episode. We will not give it away, but for sure we're excited to talk about something right when it drops. We got the advance on it, so it's very cool. And then I think after that is we're probably going to hit. Are we going to hit a fan pick? Maybe
we will do a voting poll. However, if that episode's the 13th, we also have the 20th and the 27th. So I don't know what's going to be a 0.5 or a 0.75, or if we're going to get into the movie on the 20th or the 27th.
Right,
we will hit another full movie in January, but we're going to take a little time to recalibrate. Then we're going to watch this debut that we got. Then we might do a little 0.5 thing, and then we're going to leave it up to you to vote for one of our 3 movies. I have the list here of them somewhere, or maybe I don't. I can't remember. Either way, we'll figure it out. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a little something a little different for once.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always something a little different. I think we offer a nice blend of things. Okay, that's all I got. You got all your gnarly bits in for this. This is episode 38. This is officially episode 38. So wrapping up the year with episode 38 of it.
Pure episode. It's a long one. Look, we got it. We got plenty of stuff in.
Thank you, everybody, for contributing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Anyone listening, following, listen, share it. Sean tells you all the time. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell them when you're hanging out. If you're listening on Christmas, go back in the other room with them, spend some quality time with them. Tell them, send emails to Rob Zombie. Tell him how much we love him and his films.
Yeah.
And, but no, it's awesome to do this. And I'm excited for where 25 takes us with this podcast. We've started to go in some new directions. And buckle up, everybody, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
We wish you happy Madness New Year. We'll see you in 2025. Thank you. Thank you for listening.